Have you ever wondered why some people seem to build wealth effortlessly while others work hard their whole lives and still struggle financially? It's not always about income. It's not always about luck. And no, it's not because they were born rich. The biggest difference? It's how they think about money. Today, I want to walk you through 4 key ways the wealthy think differently about money compared to how most people were raised to think. These 4 shifts changed the way I handle my own finances, and I believe they can do the same for you. We're going to explore 1. Active income versus passive income. 2. Assets versus liabilities. 3. Investing versus saving. 4. Delayed gratification versus instant pleasure. Each one builds on the last. By the end of this video, you'll start to see money less as something you chase and more as something you control. Active income versus passive income. Let's start with one of the most important shifts: active income versus passive income. Most people grow up learning one thing: work hard, get paid. That's active income. You exchange your time for money. If you stop showing up, the money stops coming in. This includes jobs, freelance work, hourly wages, commissions, even many high-paying careers. And while active income is essential, here's what rich people understand. If you only earn active income, your earning power is always limited by your time. You'll hit a ceiling because there are only so many hours in a day. Wealthy people focus on passive income, money that comes in without constant effort. They set up systems, invest in income-generating assets, and let those things make money while they sleep. Here are some examples of passive income: rental income from real estate, dividends from stocks, royalties from intellectual property, automated online businesses, interest from bonds or high-yield accounts. To be clear, these things often require hard work up front, but once built, they free up your time and continue generating money. The wealthy ask themselves this: how can I make my money work for me so I don't always have to? It's not about being lazy. It's about being strategic. Because if your income depends entirely on your effort, your freedom will always be limited. Assets versus liabilities. The next mindset shift is about what you buy. Specifically, the difference between assets and liabilities. Here's the simple rule the wealthy live by: an asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out. It's that simple. Unfortunately, many people are taught the opposite. They believe their home is an asset, their car is an asset, their expensive furniture or gadgets are assets. But ask yourself this: do these things bring in money, or do they cost money? A house you live in might appreciate over time, but until it generates income, it's not an asset, it's a liability. You pay a mortgage, taxes, insurance, maintenance. A car? Same story. Even if it's fully paid off, it costs gas, insurance, depreciation, repairs. It's not generating income, it's slowly draining it. Now compare that to real assets. A rental property that brings in monthly income, a stock that pays dividends, a business that generates profit without your daily input, a book or online course that continues to sell after it's created. Wealthy people prioritize buying assets first, then use the cash flow from those assets to buy their luxuries later. In other words, middle class buys liabilities and calls them assets. The wealthy buy real assets and let those pay for their lifestyle. Investing versus saving. We've all been told, save your money. And don't get me wrong, saving is important. But here's a truth wealthy people understand: you can't save your way to wealth. You have to invest. Saving protects you. It gives you security. But it doesn't grow your money in any meaningful way, especially when inflation is constantly eating away at its value. Let's do a quick example. If you saved $10,000 in a bank account with 0.5% interest in 10 years, you'd have maybe $10,500. But with inflation averaging 3%, that money would actually be worth less. Now compare that to investing $10,000 in an index fund, earning an average return of 7% per year. In 10 years, you'd have around $20,000, double your money. That's the power of compound interest. That's what the wealthy rely on. They don't just earn money, they grow it. And the best part? You don't need a fortune to get started. You can begin with small amounts, $50, $100 per month, investing into low-cost index funds, ETFs, or fractional shares. Wealthy people make investing a habit, not an event. It's not about timing the market. It's about time in the market. If you save but never invest, you'll always be trading security for stagnation. If you learn to invest, your money becomes your employee, working 24 hours, 7 days a week to build your future. Delayed gratification versus instant pleasure. This last mindset shift is more psychological than financial, but it's critical. Delayed gratification versus instant pleasure. Most people want things now. That new phone, those shoes, that trip they can't really afford but put on a credit card anyway. And every time you give in to that "I deserve this now" feeling, you're borrowing from your future to satisfy your present. Wealthy people resist that urge, not because they don't enjoy nice things, but because they understand this rule. Sacrifice now creates freedom later. They delay gratification in the short term so they can enjoy much greater rewards in the long term. Instead of spending $300 on something impulsive, they might invest it. 10 years later, that $300 could be $600, $1,000, even more, depending on how it's invested. This doesn't mean you can't enjoy life. It means you build a habit of asking yourself, will this cost me more than just money? Sometimes, the true cost of a purchase is the opportunity it kills. Wealthy people know how to say no, for now, so they can say yes to everything later. So let's recap. If you want to think like the wealthy, start by shifting your mindset in 4 key areas. 1. Earn passive income, not just active income. 2. Buy real assets, not liabilities that drain you. 3. Invest your money, don't just save it. 4. Delay gratification, so you can buy freedom, not just stuff. You don't have to be rich to start thinking this way. But you won't get rich until you do. These ideas aren't about shortcuts or tricks. They're about changing the way you look at money, so money no longer controls you. The sooner you adopt this mindset, the sooner you begin building a future you actually own. If this video gave you something to think about, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Let me know, which mindset shift hit you the hardest? I read every comment, and I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, and remember, take control of your money before it takes control of you.